There is power in reading. There is power in reading. Very, very great power in reading. I'm telling you, I'm getting a lot of revelations when I read this book, and this book is a very remarkable book. I just love it. Now, listen to what I've just been revealed for, or we can call what I've just discovered. By the way, do you really believe that there is sin? Do you sometimes wonder, what is this thing we call sin? At what point of life or situation, or maybe the work result, that you end up terming something like a sin, or maybe calling somebody a sinner? You know, I've read a lot of books. I've read even the Bible. In fact, for me, I say I don't read, I study, you know. I better than take a book like now this book. This is now my second, almost third week reading it. I don't read it like a story. Anyway, you analyze each and every statement. Whenever there's a revelation, you try to relate. That's what I call, or that's what I mean by studying a book. By day, I read these books as I take the notes, you know, for reference and all that. Now, whenever a revelation comes or a statement comes, then you relate it with the actual activities that happens in your life, or maybe that comes out in your job places, or maybe family life, or maybe the games you play, or maybe the kind of school courses you have done. You relate all these activities with whatever you are reading, and you bring them into reality. One thing that most people fear is about the reality, because we are used to, or we are at a level of living in a life of assumption, whereby each and everything that happens to us is okay, you know. And in fact, previously I talked about it, right? It's not okay to live an okay life. You are not a person who is okay with anything that happens around. You must be triggered to think about it. Now, the question is, do you really believe that there is a sin? I've read the Bible, I've talked to people, I've shared a lot of experiences and a lot of writings and maybe speeches, and I've listened to people. Throughout the Bible, from the book of Genesis to Revelation, I've read about the beginning of everything, the Exodus and all that. I've not seen any verse of the Bible among the things listed that God created, sin to be one of them. Animals were created, human beings were created, the plants were created, water bodies were created, heavenly bodies were created. Out of all these things, I've not seen where a sin is counted as one of the creation. Then what is this sin? A sin is a situation. Because as I study this book, I'm studying the levels or the processes by which the habit is formed. And I told you, habit is a component or a compound of so many small activities joined together. Just like your money in the bank, you know, whenever a group of so many activities put together. Now, if you put them together step by step, they come back and form a habit. And this habit now becomes your character, because it is repeated. You do it again and again. Whenever you are fond of doing something again and again, it gives you a character. And it is from that character that they give you the name. So the name they are calling you, name is very powerful, because name simply reflects who you are or reflects what you display. Now, to me, sin is never a creation. There is no point, there is no part of the Bible, there is no preacher who can tell us that sin exists. Sin doesn't exist. Sin, we create it. It is a situation. Because, look, the process of forming a habit, it starts by first step, which is Q. C-U-E or Q, how you pronounce it, you know. What is Q really? It's having a vision in your mind that there is an existence of a certain result, you know, thinking that if I do this, this and this will come. And in result, we always have two, either positive or negative. So if you have a Q, this Q brings you a feeling, a motivation to wanting to receive the reward. Now, level 2 of developing a habit is called craving. And that's why you will hear somebody telling you, I'm craving for cold drink, I'm craving for maybe cricket games, I'm craving for this. Why? Because there was a vision of a reward, and now there is a feeling of wanting to receive that reward. Then you proceed to level 3, which is now response. You are going to respond. In short, you are acting. Whatever you visioned, then you are having a feeling of getting it. Then now you go to what is called action. This action now will lead you to acting in different ways, doing things differently so that you receive the reward. Now the reward will come. If the reward is satisfying the problem, of course, each and every habit that we portray, we are struggling to make sure that we satisfy the problem we have. Now, if the reward, which is the fourth step, comes in a habit and the reward satisfies you or makes you happy, there's high probability of you repeating the same. Now, look at this. Everything that we do that we end up turning as a sin is a negative result. Anything that we do that gives us a reward that is positive in nature, making us happy, satisfying our abilities, we call it a success. So in short, sin is the opposite of success. Failure, we call it a sin. So anything that you do, any habit that you portray, and this habit leads to negative result, we will term it as a sin. So there is no sin. A sin is a habit. A sin is an action. It's a negative result. Something that you built in your mind, you did it, you acted on it, but the result is negative against expectations. And there is high chances of either you leaving it. But again, it depends on your definitions, because each and everybody has its own thing that make them satisfy their need. So the sin doesn't exist. It is a situation that we create in our mind. I thought it was worth for you to know that. Anyway, tell me what you feel about it. But for more information, please go back to your YouTube. It's called Underdog Mark. Please subscribe, watch, and share. My second YouTube is called My Class Channel. Please subscribe to my channel. See you next time. Give me the comments on what you say about that. There is no sin. It is only situational we create in our mind.